Hello, welcome back to the Book of Confidence, where we talk about business and beauty. So, you see the topic today. Today, I will be talking about why we are in an edgeless generation. And it may sound funny, but it's a very sensitive topic, and it's very serious. When people are losing their hair, right? Because the hair could be damaged to the point where you can't even restore it, right? There's many factors to being in this space. There's many factors to hair loss, and today I really want to talk about 2 points of why people are losing their hair in this time. But first, we need to go back and we need to speak about this lady. She is one of the people, well, she's not one, she is the one that created the term protective style. She invented, the method of how to do a weave, and she actually patented it. And that is the number one reason, well, not the number one reason, but I think one of the reasons why people are losing their hair. And you may say, well, you have a wig on. I do have a wig on, this ain't a weave. But you may say that I have this thing on, but I don't think it's the fact of wearing a weave or a wig that makes people, or braids, that makes people lose their hair or lose their edges. I think hair loss happens over a long period of time. So let's start from the beginning. What I have seen as a hairstylist, I've been a hairstylist for several years now. New York based. I've worked with natural hair and I've worked with hair that is not natural. But what I see, the biggest issue that happens is that many people do not know how to take care of their natural hair. And when I say natural hair, I mean natural textured hair or even relaxed hair. Many people don't know how to care for their hair. And also, they don't know how to remove their hairstyles, or they're going to a person that do not know how to put these hairstyles in the correct manner. And that causes hair trauma, right? I remember growing up as a little girl when school was starting. I never got braids for the summer, I don't think. Some like braids was, I don't know. I don't remember getting braids for the summer, but I always remember getting braids going back to school for many years. Like school was starting, you was getting your braids. And sometimes I would just get box braids with regular synthetic hair, which was like, it was terrible back then. Like this synthetic hair these days, we can flat iron it, right? But I remember getting synthetic hair, and sometimes I would get like human hair, the wet and wavy human hair, just like this. Like think about this hair. And then my mom, who was my stylist, she would take it strand by strand and braid it into my hair. And this, in a sense, the term wasn't popular back then as it is now, but this was a protective style. And this hairstyle, it made my hair grow. It was healthy. I had a healthy scalp. And it was amazing. It saved a lot of time in the morning. But it was installed properly, and it was also taken down properly. And I think that's the biggest issue. There's a lot of conversations around braids taking your hair out. No, what is taking your hair out is the placement of the braids, how the people are putting the braids into your hair, and how they are removing it. And I'm not talking about only corners, I'm talking about box braids as well, and how long you leave the box braids in. You ever had your braids in for so long? And I have. I'll lift my hands up too. You ever had your braids in for so long that like the one on the edge, it fell out? And I remember one time I was working at a job, had braids in. Cute, little box braid, synthetic hair. Synthetic hair, sometimes it could be a little heavy. Had the braids in. I was working in skincare and I'm helping a customer. I saw one of my braids on the floor. I was like, child, the braids have been in too long when you have like that white buildup. And back then, I don't even think edge control was popular. And I remember having to scoop my braid up real quick and throw it in the garbage because I'm like, but it was time to take the braids out. So I think it's very important that we know when to take our braids out and how to put them in and how to wash our hair after we take these things out of our hair. So one of the things that I think is the biggest issue within the protective style industry, and that's what I do. I do protective styles all the time, is the placement, how we're putting it in. Maybe people don't know how to place them in properly. I always tell clients that come to me, I was like, I'll never ever sacrifice your hair so you could look cute. The wigs, sometimes they be looking cute and they be looking laid. But when you get in, you're pulling the wig off your head and you're pulling off your edges. I will never, that's one of the reasons when I do wigs, I don't use glue. And sometimes using glue can make the style look better, but I don't want your protective style to look amazing. And then when you take the hair off, you're like, oh my God. So it's just very important of how we're placing these styles in and going to the proper people and how we are removing these styles from our hair and how to wash our hair. So that's another issue that I think is going on. A lot of people do not know how to wash their own hair. As I tell everyone who sees me, you only see me once a month. Some people every 3 weeks. You don't see me all the time. You are your stylist. You spend most of the time with your hair. If you're only seeing me once a month, if you work out once a month, are you going to lose weight? Are you going to lose weight? You have to have a regimen. So you have to have a routine throughout the entire month that's going to sustain that weight loss and push that weight loss in effect, right? So it's the same thing with your hair. Whatever you do with your hair for the 29 days that you are not seeing me, that is very, very important. Do you have a healthy scalp? Are you washing your hair? How are you detangling your hair? How are you taking these braids out? A lot of times braids, it takes so long to put it in and it also takes a long time to take it out too. But take time to split up the process so you're not pulling your hair out. And I've been there. I've been like, thank God for God gave me strong hair. I'm like, because you're pulling it out and you're just so impatient with taking the hair out. But it's very important that we know how to wash our hair. And even for me, I just want to be very honest. As I said in the last one, I believe I said it, I did not learn how to wash my hair until wash it correctly. I could wash my hair. And I went to beauty school, but they do not teach you about natural hair in beauty school. I'm not natural anymore, but I'm kind of an in-between phase, right? But I remember I was natural for a certain point. In 2017, I was natural. And I did not know how to take care of my natural hair. I did not. I would just kind of braid it and put it under the wigs. And one thing I want to say, when you're braiding your hair, I understand you want your wig to be flat, but under this wig is some dookie braids. The braids are not neat. They are fuzzy. They are messy. I'm not braiding my hair tight just to lay a wig on my head, because you are pulling your hair and over time, you start pulling some hair out and losing it. So with that being said, in 2017, I remember working at this natural hair salon. I said it before. You can look it up. The head stylist there, just look up $300 haircut. I think the haircut right now is $300. And I didn't know how to care for my natural hair, but the people there, I will wear wigs when I work there, but it's you don't really fit in because you're wearing wigs and this is a natural hair salon, and the girls need to feel empowered when you're washing their hair. They don't want somebody with a weave. It's crazy. But there was somebody with a weave or a wig washing their hair. They'd be like, do she even know what she's doing? So I remember one day the head stylist there, the owner, he I'm like, should I say he? But this person told me to take off. He was like, I'm going to do your hair. And honestly, I didn't know what I was getting because I didn't know who I really didn't know who he was. I'm not I don't be knowing people like that. So I didn't really know who he was. It was until I got the interview that I started researching more about the salon. And I was like, okay, this is a popping, it's popping, it's a popping place to be, right? And, he offered to do me a haircut. I didn't even know who was cutting my hair. He's pretty popular, right? And, he taught me, I would say this person, this group of people, they trained me on how to care for natural hair, how to wash it, how to detangle it, how to style it, how to do these things, but also just me getting that service and learning to really like love my hair. And I remember he cut my hair, he styled it, and this time I had like the baby fro or whatever. Like my hair is a four, I would say my hair is like 4C, 4B, like a mixture of that texture. Like I still have a little bit of curl, but it's not like my shrinkage is like, even if I wear my hair, is always like a little afro. I gotta stretch it out and do all this stuff, right? And I remember after he styled my hair, and this was like a self, it was like, you know, the salon is definitely more than just going in, but it was like really an empowering moment. That working at this place, it really empowered me as a Black woman. It really did. And I remember after him styling my hair, had the natural hair. The hair was up to here. It was like up to the hair, whatever, like the baby afro, whatever, with the curls. And he was like, "Do you like it?" And I was like, no. I was like, no. And like, imagine you telling somebody who's like big in the industry, like, no, I don't like it. But I honestly didn't know. I didn't know about this world and these people existing. And I was like, no, I don't. And he leaned over and he said, why? And I was like, I don't really know why I don't like it. And he was like, if your hair was longer, would you like it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I would. But when I said yeah, it made me realize that there was like a level of me that did not like my hair, right? And it also made me realize I like my hair when it's long. And I needed to learn how to accept it when it's short as well. Um, and he did that, and he kind of like walked away. But then after that, I got my hair cut even shorter. I got my hair cut really short. I'll put some pictures in there. I got my hair cut shorter. I got a tapered cut. I started wearing my natural hair. And just in that world, it was just so beautiful and so empowering. And just meeting those women who would come there and just wear their natural hair, it was just so beautiful. And it just felt like a world that you belong in. And I would wear my hair, I would do my little braids with the short hair, I'll do my little puff, I'll wear it down and stretch it and all the things. But I think it's very important I share this story because it's important that we spend time with our hair. It's important that we know how to care for our natural hair. And it's important that we know how to wash our hair. And when we are wearing protective styles, also knowing how to take it down. But I think now, being in that world and working in the natural hair community and just being a part of that community at that time, it was very empowering. It made me realize that at that time, I like wearing my hair long. Like I like long hair. And maybe you may realize about yourself. Maybe you want to be a straight natural. Maybe you just want to wear your hair like blown out, but it's natural. That's completely fine. Like that's okay. If you feel like you look best with your hair blown out and stretched, if you feel like your hair looks good, relax, that's okay too. But the key thing is knowing how to care for your hair when you are not seeing a hairstylist. And that's why I feel like we are in an edgeless generation. We need to know how to take care of our hair outside the salon. We need to really nurture our hair. We need to minimize the amount of products that we're putting on our hair. If you are doing a protective style, which I do all the time, do not sacrifice your hair for the style. Do not tell the stylist to braid tighter. One of the things that I never do, I never braid the nape of my hair. You see them little tiny hairs? And the edges stay out. The biggest thing with my edges is I love ponytails. Ooh, I love ponytails. I got a relaxer and I'm obsessed with ponytails. But guess what ponytails do? They break your hair. So be mindful of that as well. But I just wanted to just share my journey, and I hope you are taking care of your hair today. If today's wash day, go wash your hair. Don't delay, don't tarry, just do it. And also take care of your hair while it's in that protective style. If a stylist is braiding too tight, speak up. If the needle is sticking in your head, speak up. If you need to take a style down because it's too tight, speak up, like take it down. When you're taking your styles down, make sure you're taking it down correctly. Please, I beg. Please, I beg. Thank you for watching.